What's up, guys? I'm Sophie Lightning, and yesterday I received unreleased blasters, the Rival Curve Flex and the Rival Curve Sideswipe. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Flex, later today Sideswipe, and in that second video I'll tell you which one I think you should buy out of the two. First up though, let's do a review of the Flex. So, quick side note, I live in New England. It is snowing, freezing outside today. I could not stand going out there and actually filming. I went out there and fired both of the blasters to take my range notes. I took notes on it. I did not record that because it is freezing outside and it's really hard to see. Also, the wind is definitely going to impact some of my estimations of range because wind likes to do that. So take my range and all of those numbers with a slight grain of salt, but at the end of the day, I think that they're still pretty accurate. And the first fact is that the Flex is not as powerful as other rival blasters. I don't know if it's my Flex, I'm not entirely sure, but I was only getting about 45 to 50 feet, which is much more of an elite range level than a rival level. That was, of course, when my barrel was facing the upwards angle, so it was just firing straight. As far as the curving goes, which is kind of the main feature about this blaster, I was getting about 20 to 25 feet, and then the darts would curve about 1 to 2 feet over. It's not terrific. It's definitely not what we're seeing in those original commercials and graphics, but it's not terrible, and it still curves, which is really, really cool. For those of you that don't know, the Flex is a $15 blaster being released on March 1st, 2021, and it is completely new blaster, completely new type of blaster with that whole curve feature. Now let's take a look at comfort and practicality. These are things that matter a lot to me when it comes to purchasing a blaster and if it's worth the money. So to prime this blaster, you pull down here, okay? As you can hear, that popped out, that breached the blaster. You pop in a rival round, close the muzzle, and you're good to go. So this, the priming handle is going to be extended when you are loaded. It really doesn't get in the way. It's not that big of a deal, so no issue with that. Of course, this is a single shot blaster. It does have optional dart storage for up to 8 additional rival rounds, but you do have to go through that whole process to fire one round. That definitely hurts its practicality score, as even as a secondary, it's very similar to the knockout. In an actual battle, I would not really want to sit there. Prime, put in, close, fire. I hate dry firing blasters. I apologize to everybody for just doing that. So the practicality is not that great. I'm going to give it about a 5 out of 10. I forgot to give the range an actual number. I'm going to give the range, I gave it a 6 out of 10, which is even a little bit generous. Next up, let's go to the comfort. Comfort is something that matters to a lot of people. It matters to me as well. And a lot of the new rival blasters have, even just all the blasters have been adding this kind of like trigger protecting grip. I have no quarrel with that. It is pretty comfortable. My one issue with this blaster is the grip. The grip, as you can see here, is very straight. There's this one little lip to put your finger on the trigger. Other than that, there's really no texture, no groove, nothing. So I actually have relatively big hands for like the typical demographic of people that are going to be using this blaster, in my opinion, or at least average. And the grip feels a little bit monstrous to me. It feels large. So if you are somebody with bigger hands, and for example, the Ultra 5 is super uncomfortable to you, you are going to love this blaster for that reason. It definitely has a grip that could fit really any large hand. If you have a very small hand, you're probably going to have a little bit of difficulty really holding on to it though, if I'm being honest. Like I said, priming handle is pretty comfortable. It fits in there pretty evenly. Doesn't matter which 2 fingers you use. It doesn't require that much effort to pull down, which is good, but it does still require a bit of force. Pushing this back in takes virtually no effort. Super easy to use. And then rotating the barrel, pretty easy as well. I appreciate how it clicks into place because I would have difficulty knowing where to put it if it did not click into place. So no issues with that. Comfort, 8 out of 10. Pretty comfortable, really no issues there. Just like I said, that grip's not fantastic, but everything else is. It works really well. Also does have that safety built in right there. Let's move on. One of the most important markers for me takes all of those previous things that we just discussed and puts them into one category, which is bang for your buck. We are living in a global pandemic. There is not much money to spare on toy blasters. that's where this one gets a little bit interesting. Bang for buck, I gave a 6 out of 10, which is a little bit low of a rating compared to a lot of other blasters that I've reviewed in the past. There's a couple reasons. First of all, it's not the most comfortable, it's not the least comfortable, but it's not the most, but most primarily is it takes a very long, time-consuming process to load each individual round. In an actual Nerf battle, you'll probably lose if you try to use this as a primary or even a secondary. And it's a little bit too large to be, you know, a last resort blaster. It's not going to exactly fit in your pocket or anything. That being said, this one is really for fun. It's for that curving feature, and that also hurts the bang for a buck a little bit because its big brother, the sideswipe, curves far better in my opinion. So it doesn't curve as well as I would have hoped. It does curve, like, especially the downward one curves quite significantly. That one curves about 4 feet down, which is pretty hilarious. But the curve feature does work, don't get me wrong. It's just difficult for me to give it a higher rating when I know that its big brother does all of this, but better. So I think you guys already know which one I would tell you to buy, but I'll still save it just to be on the safe side. So this is not a perfect average, but overall I'm going to give this blaster a 6.5 out of 10. It's the first of this brand new series. It's not fair to be really hard on it, in my opinion. The only reason what's really hurting the scores right now is that I know its big brother is superior, and really for not much more of a price tag. So if you walk into Walmart right now, or on March 1st, I should say, and you're stuck between the two and you got 30 bucks in your pocket, I would definitely get the sideswipe instead. It's only 25. It's pretty fantastic. It works very well. The flex is a lot of fun. But like I said, it's not very practical, and that curve feature is not as phenomenally easy to see as it is on the sideswipe. I fire that one and I'm like, whoa, that curved. On this one, I'm like, okay, was that a little gust of wind, or was that actually, you know, curving? It still works. It's really unfair for me to sit here and be like, yeah, this thing doesn't work. That's completely false. That's not what I'm saying. It works well. It does what it says it does. I just wish it was a little bit more powerful, shot a little further, a little harder, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Compared to its bigger sibling, it's just not quite there. But it's still a good blaster, and if you're in love with the Curve series, it's still definitely fun to pick up and use. It's just definitely not going to be your next go-to for an actual battle. Thanks for watching, guys.